Hello, I'm Grzegorz Lika. I'm the lead writer and lead narrative designer of Cronos.
And my name is Wojciech Piel. I'm also a game director.
We are here talking about Cronos, The New Dawn. I've had a chance to play a little bit, and wowie. I have been playing your games since the first Layers of Fear. I played all the way through Layers of Fear 1, Layers of Fear 2. I was so excited when I saw you guys were on Silent Hill 2. And then here we are, your latest new IP.
I like this guy.
And how does it feel to like get back to doing what you want to do, like working on your own thing and your own ideas?
Overall, we are always working on our ideas because we have two teams.
Yeah.
And one team is doing one project and second team is doing second project, and we mix people from time to time, or when one project ends, go to the second project. So we finish the medium as a core team, so we jump from our stuff to Cronos. So part of the team work only on Cronos, and then we transfer people between Silent Hill and Cronos. So for us, we always work on our things.
Yeah. Constantly.
Yeah. So, and it's a good feeling, of course.
Yeah.
But at the same time, after success, of course, we also feel the pressure as our friends from Silent Hill.
Yeah, and overall, it's like a dream come true for us because we are die-hard survival horror fans, and now we can make our own statement, our own survival horror game, which I think is different than the others with the merge and all the things that we prepared. So we feel very privileged also because the times in industry are hard, and we are bringing new IP. So yeah, fingers crossed for Cronos.
Yeah.
Looking at this game and looking at the premise and looking at how things are playing out, like it is very sci-fi, it is very horror, but there's also just like this game is intensely Polish.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like as opposed to like what you've done before, what has it been like to sort of like work Polish lore?
Overall, we have great track record. Like we make Observer, it was it's Cyberpunk Poland, yeah. We made a medium, so like thriller, adventure, horror, also in Poland. So with Cronos, when we started, it was like, so it will be in Poland, yeah. Definitely. Like I don't see any other reasons to do anything else. So more or less, if we want it or not, we start to be some kind of specialists to transfer Poland into the games and feel more and more pewny siebie.
Sure.
Yeah, sure that okay, this is working, this is inspiring for us, but also for people playing the game. It's something new, it's something different, so it's cool, feedback loop between us and players, and we cannot imagine to make Cronos or the medium somewhere else than in Poland. And because of track record, we knew how we can evolve and push the Polishness even further.
Yeah, exactly. We think that it makes the game more authentic. Like we are really telling our stories, also like putting our hearts into characters and events that are happening there. And yeah, as Jacek mentioned, we are evolving with each game. Yeah, so Observer, we recreated like a, let's say, tenement building. Yeah, with Medium, the hotel, and now we got the whole district.
Yeah.
So next, the whole town.
Yeah, sure. I also think that it was not an ego-driven decision to make it like about our home, but also it was it rhymes very good with the theme of the game. So setting this in not only the environment and history that we know because we installed us and we attended our history lessons in school, but also it just rhymes with the themes and the questions which we want to ask. And in Silent Hill, we knew that this should be different because you don't want to play the same game all over and over again. Make it different, ask different questions, and that Silent Hill is very like keen on psychology and deep diving into that psychology. Cronos is also like a psychological horror because this is what we do, this is in our DNA, but also it can go even, it can go in different places and make it more philosophical, cosmic, make it about the end of the world, damn it. It's just like you want to ask different questions, and this town becomes a character then,
Yeah, also art-wise, it really connects with our sci-fi. I mean, like a Nova Huta, the New Dawn portrait in the game is created with a lot of brutalist architecture, very, very monumental, and it really fits well with the cassette futurism we are presenting with our, let's say, more analog technology that the travelers are using. So for me, it was like a match made in heaven. Yeah.
Looking at the main gimmick of the game, obviously, like the monsters, when you run into them, they're terrifying in of themselves. But the first time you see them like connect with another monster and turn into something bigger, it like flips the whole thing on its head because you have very few resources to burn up bodies and get rid of the threat. Like, how did you go about designing the merging function and keeping it from being like almost too overwhelming?
Okay, so yeah, I think the merge mechanic is the most advanced thing that we created, and it really like shifts the whole game. Yeah, to be honest, we built everything around the merge mechanic, even level designs that allow you to backtrack in a few monsters with bodies you left behind, and also all the weapons that you've got, all the tools that you've got in a game, because the flamethrower is just, the first thing you will find to deal with them. Yeah, but so at the very first prototypes, monsters were basically like eating each other without those tentacles and everything. But the combat team said that, okay, but they are grounded. We need to do something about it. So that's where the tentacles came, so they can still move while absorbing other guys. Yeah, so and fun fact, on the prototypes, the monster there were no cap of how much they can grow, and they couldn't fit into the door at some point. So we capped it. So yeah, it's like a 4 stages of evolution. I mean, the graphics will change 4 times, but monsters can still absorb bodies and heal itself. Yeah, but there are different tools, and then you can use environment against them. Yeah. Later in the game, for example, you will find an item that can be attached to your weapon that scans monster health. So if you point the gun at the monster, you see, for example, the light is blinking red, which means he's almost dead. So some players are using it to not kill them, shoot monster a few times, red, turn to other guy, and then, for example, finish them off in the quick succession, so they will not have time to merge. So there are different strategies, and overall the game becomes more tactical. The approach is different to this game. So yeah, the learning curve, I think, will lead you to find other ways to deal with them, not only fire.
And honestly, when those two guys came to me and said this game will be challenging, I was like, oh no, I hate challenging things. I'm just a casual player. But then I discovered this is completely different from Dark Souls or something. It's just it's based upon your decision-making strategy and being prepared like a true traveler, you're on an expedition. So you want to craft things, fabricate things, be very prepared and be aware of your surrounding, as Wojciech said, and using your surrounding. And, the most of the important thing of the fight, the biggest fight comes before the fighting. It's in here, it's in preparing for it.
Overall, we want to do something you will remember. Yeah. The experience, okay, it was challenging game. I don't think it's so challenging, it's just a bit different. But when you learn all the things and the game progress later also with different tools, I can, have more, stuff to do and react and so on. But with the merge, we don't want to make it frustration, but of course we want you to fear it and respect the merge. Okay, it happened, maybe I didn't saw it or something, now I have a problem, I can do something about it. And the further you go, you are stronger and stronger. So yeah, don't let them merge and you will be fine.
Yeah, act like a true traveler. They're good.
And when I saw one of those little acid exploding dudes, I was like, can I use that to kill the other ones? And sure enough, I love the interactivity of this game because it gives you that option to I see that these things explode and cover the area in acid, and I see that opportunity when something's coming towards me, melt it in its own buddy. It's I love that interactivity is thought of and it's there, and it gives me more strategy to work with.
I love when a monster is running at me and I see this kind of tumor with acid on the wall, and I was like, oh no, damn, oh my god.
Yeah, and overall the merge is creating more emergent gameplay, because the fight can be different from different players, and that's awesome. That's something that we really love in our game.
And something I want to chew on, because it's been one of my favorite things about Bloober Team forever, environmental design. This studio is incredibly good at creating scenery to chew on and hidden clues, hidden interesting bits. I'm curious, between the sci-fi element and the historical Polish element, how is it putting these things together and melding them into this sci-fi narrative?
Well, because setting this, as we said before, setting this in Nowa Huta, in the New Dawn, we didn't it wasn't an ego decision to let's set it where we live, but it was conscious, and we really recreated the whole district. Like you can't go everywhere, absolutely everywhere. But you know, I'm from here and I can see things, and like walking to the office sometimes it's just like, oh man, it's just like in the game. It's so awesome. Like the guys from the 3D department, they did such a good job, you know, and I was like an absolute nightmare to them because I was like, "But this is like supposed to be exactly like this, like should like, you know, and all that." But they did awesome job, and I think, like Jacek said before, we're starting to be experts in Polishness in the games. And also like the exact era of Poland, like the, you know, the communistic period of you know, of Poland. And I think we're doing great. Like you should see some of the Polish YouTubers like as they play our games, because they're like, no, normally you just go with the story, you progress and all that, and people are like, oh, those cups, my grandma had like cups like this. Oh, this chair, I know this chair, you know, and they're like, I have this chair, I'm sitting on this chair, damn it, you know.
Yeah. But also, you know, we are also using, like, let's say, historical events to create our alternate version of the history, where, of course, the change happens. So, like, I think the biggest example is that in Poland there was like introduced a martial law. I mean, like the military, like, took over the country. And in our version of the history, they are doing this because of the change to cover it up. So we are also like fueled by some real events that we twist, you know, to fit our sci-fi story.
And there's also a time element here. Like the objective that you're going for is these people that are sort of lost in history, and it can't be easy to make that narrative where like everything fits and everything is consistent. But like, how do you approach the time bending narrative as far as Cronos goes?
Well, I think while creating a time travel story, the most important thing is to like decide what model of time travel do you want to use, and if it's like Back to the Future, or if it's more like the dark, or or not, you know. And I think the model we decided on, we choose that not because it's mostly probable in the science way, because time travel doesn't exist. But we choose that model to enforce the story as much as we can, and I think you will soon understand why the time travel works in Cronos as it works, because it's still, it is sci-fi, but what's most important for us still is the emotions and the characters. This is what you remember from every story, right? This is what makes an adventure, right? The characters you meet, and these are the most important things for us. And sci-fi is just make it good, make it all right, but still the story is king.
Overall, it's important to choose how you want to time travel and stick to it, and break it when you want it to be break. Yeah. Not like, okay, we need to break it because something. No, like we want to break it now and there, and we have our reasons. Yeah, because also it's part of mystery how it all happens, that for players to resolve.
Yeah.
And kind of to wrap this up, it does kind of inform the gameplay too, because there are places where you need to mess with like time fluxes and change things back to the way they were, or change things to where they were when you found them. And I thought the going back and forth between like setting a path in one place or moving it to another as you needed was like an interesting way to rehash an environment. You guys built part of your reputation in just puzzle solving, and I'm curious, like as far as Layers of Fear up to where we are now, how's the philosophy of puzzle solving and horror evolved for Bluebird along the way?
So in Cronos, we especially put our attention also to environmental puzzles, like you mentioned. So like the energy emitter, like a reverting time, is the first tool that you will find, because the game is a little bit more action oriented. So we don't want to create those big stops, like of course we still feature some, like, let's say, classical survival horror puzzles, like rearranging statues here and there, but we are betting on those environmental ones that are, let's say, faster to solve. And this also allows us to create like a more vertical game, because most of horrors are, let's say, glued to the ground, and here we've got these awesome anomalies like floating buildings that you can interact with later, because you probably saw the trailer. There are like gravity shoes, for example, that allows you to attach to some platforms, and all those mechanics are connecting, so you can easily imagine that you're recreating the platform, attaching to it, then use it as an elevator and stuff like this. So it really leads us to more vertical, more environmental puzzles.
Give us a rundown on where people can find out more about the game.
Such is our calling.
Don't let them merge.
Powiedz coś po polsku. Pierogi!
Ruskie.
Find all the cats.
Find the cats!
Save the cats.
Save the cats!